Good evening, I'm Jeff Salkin. We begin tonight with advice to add more hours to your day while cutting through the clutter of your email inbox. Joining us is Leslie Shreve, founder and CEO of Productive Day and author of Taskology, How to Unleash the Power of Your Most Productive Workday. Leslie, thanks for making time in your workday to talk to us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here.
It's ironic, I guess, that we have all of these productivity tools. We have great technology, but somehow despite that, it feels like we're all a little bit more stressed and maybe even less productive.
Less efficient, less productive, less progressive. Things are slowing down, I think, because what people don't realize is that how you work is just as important as doing your work. Now, doing your work means using your expertise. It's what you do best, and it's the very best use of your time. But the how seems to be getting in the way of the workday. And the how is the operating system that should be running quietly and smoothly in the background of your day. But for most professionals, it doesn't work that way. They're asking some of the most common how questions, like how am I going to get through all of these emails? How am I going to get more time to work on my priorities? How am I going to prioritize all these to-dos?
Take us inside your business a little bit. When you're helping a client, how stressed is that client when he or she walks in the door?
Very.
And what's your first advice?
Well, they're very stressed. And when someone is that stressed during their day, they're frustrated, they're often overwhelmed, they're not doing their best work. And they know it. They're feeling less efficient and less productive. They're not making the progress they need to make. And their achievement is like slogging through molasses. So when I work with a client, we go through Taskology step by step. We start with task management. Then we go into time management, and then we go into email management. So it's very structured. I'm not a coach, so I don't go in and find out what they're doing. I already know what's not working because their workday isn't working. They don't have a workday strategy that works. So Taskology works, and we start from day one. We start putting it together.
Let's take it in that order. So
okay. We build a task
management.
list. Yes.
How do you do it?
A digital task list. It's
okay.
the Taskology task list. Now it's based in a system like Outlook, but I've taught it in many systems. It just happens to work best with Outlook. So it covers everything that you need to do, have to do, want to do, even dream of doing. Not all in one day, but all in one system.
I'll admit to not being totally sure how everything in Outlook works because it gets progressively more complicated.
Right.
Are we using...
Well, no, I only pull the elements from Outlook that work with Taskology, so I don't even know all the bells and whistles, I'm sure.
Are we using the calendar? What do you use?
Yeah, the calendar and the email, notes, contacts, and that's what's so great about a system like Outlook and systems like it. It's comprehensive. Things talk to each other. So for instance, the to-do apps and the email apps, they're not working that great, just like your old, planner. They're not, because they're not comprehensive. See, here's what people don't know, Jeff. There are at least 10 different sources of tasks in your workday. Think about it. Email, voicemail, hallway conversations, meetings, texts, which you mentioned before the show.
Right.
Yeah. And it is impossible for people to effectively compare and contrast to-dos and actually plan them and prioritize them and get them accomplished when they're trying to manage them only from their sources. It's like they're trying to do it in their head.
So
they're checking the
it?
email. Well, that's why we build the Taskology task list. We put everything in there, no matter the source, so that you can effectively see it all together and compare and contrast what you need to do and when you need to do it. Because see, that's what's missing. Got the legal pad of to-dos, the brain dump of everything you want to do. There's no concept of when. There's no concept to prioritize with.
What's the old saying about no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy? So I could have a terrific plan, but my phone's going to beep. It beeps all the time. It could be any number of things, but
yes.
I feel like I have to go do whatever it is right then.
That's interruptions.
You bet.
Yes, and that's where I teach people how to protect their time. So we talk about interruptions, distractions, stop multitasking, how to strengthen that focus and protect time. See, because it's not about having more time at your disposal. It's not about getting time, finding time, keeping time, or looking for time. Everybody has time. They just need to learn how to protect it. And that means protecting it from those interruptions and knowing when to fall for them and when to stand steady and not address it.
I can think of some obvious stuff. If you have an office door, close it. If you have a phone, mute it, turn it off, whatever. But
you have to reduce those.
You can't really do that.
You can, in a lot of cases, for short periods of time. And that's what I teach my clients. You can do that and do it guilt-free because you need that time to actually work on the tasks on that task list that we built and actually process email. So this is one of the benefits of having a task list in a digital format that builds in everything so that your awareness goes up to 100% and you suddenly become more proactive because it's, oh my, this is what I really need to do. It's very clear. I need to protect time to do it.
Now, I have a highly productive colleague who writes out with pen and paper an agenda for the day. It's not digital. It's not in Outlook.
It's
a
a
piece
to-do
of
list
paper,
on paper.
and it works.
Yeah. Well, we don't actually know if anything is missed, lost, or forgotten until we have a conversation about other things that may have scrolled off the screen in their email inbox, because that's another really big productivity pitfall. And what about a voicemail or something lost on the desk or something that slipped through the cracks? Because that's what I find.
Well, let's talk email.
So I'm not knocking his process. Maybe he misses nothing.
If you looked at my email, thousands of emails in there. Colleagues who delete everything or file everything and have an empty inbox. Which camp are you in?
Empty inbox, but you can't have hundreds of folders on the left side of the screen because that's not what it's about. It's not. You actually have to, everything that comes in an email inbox actually does belong somewhere else in a system that is better suited to manage it or store it. That means you've got to get the emails with to-dos onto the task list. So if people are filing them in a folder on the left, that's not a good idea either. And not everything should have a folder. I've run into clients who had a folder for everybody in the company, but that's not right either. There is such a thing as over-organizing, and it's going to kill your productivity and make you less efficient
because you're 7 hours a day organizing
You're
yourself.
looking for too many things, right? And there's definitely a way to keep that email folders list short, but still have a way to find things fast so that you're not wasting your time looking for things you know you have but just can't find.
I also know people who get thousands of emails and don't have an assistant, have to deal with it. How do you do that?
It's called decision making. They have to have a place to store things and a decision making process in order to get these things where they need to go for best management or best storage. So there should only be one action place, which is your digital task list. But there are a lot of reference systems in our Workday. There's the e-document library, contacts, email folders, you name it. There's a lot of different places where you can store something just for future reference. But for action, it needs to go on a task list. That's one of those many sources. But once you get all those together, you can effectively compare and contrast what you need to do and when, no matter where it came from.
When you work with companies, organizations, how do you help them help their staff, their colleagues, without, if you mandate everybody needs to have their Outlook folder set up this way, you have to have your desk looking like that, you're going to get some pushback.
Well, we do team training, but it's not that stringent. Everybody finds a comfortable place to land. Yeah, they learn the system of taskology, but they find a comfortable place to land.
You've been at this for a while. How has it evolved?
It has evolved in the sense that now there's a much finer point on exactly what I do for clients. It's very specific and very granular. It is seriously focused only on tasks, time, and email, and efficiency, so that people can accelerate their achievement and make more meaningful progress in their day. And it is strictly through the system of taskology, so that they have a workday strategy that works.
Is there any other technology that you're excited about? I know there's some apps that'll try to impede you somehow from checking your phone constantly. Will sort of meter
That's
it.
a little.
You can only get on the freeway after the light turns green.
That's productivity adjacent, and so I don't have anything against that sort of thing. If it's helping somebody reduce distractions, that's okay. But taskology is specifically not about technology in the sense that it's a methodology for thinking differently. So you can apply it to any technology if it's got a comprehensive system like Outlook. So I don't actually promote any kind of apps or any technology at all, because taskology is just a methodology for your technology.
Is there anything that when you talk to somebody, they say, I have this system, I love my system, and you need to tell them it's not really working? I mean, does everybody do something that you know doesn't really work?
Well, yes, and that's why they come to me. They're using big pads, little pads, spiral pads, notepads, Post-it notes. You know, they're trying to keep track of the email, but it's scrolling off the screen. You know, they come to me because they are frustrated and they are tired of this. They want to maximize their expertise and their time and stop fussing with how to get through the day.
You should see my laptop computer. It's got little sticky notes.
Oh, well, there you go.
All over it. I'm embarrassed.
Reminders, right?
Yeah, you'll have to fix it. Leslie Shreve is author of Taskology, How to Unleash the Power of Your Most Productive Workday. She's also CEO of productiveday.com. Leslie, thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. It was great to be here.